airport has opportunities. For instance, this coming Thursday, we've got a big event happening at the airport. We have a hotel right next to our airport that's, actually it's the airport's hotel. And we're having a special meeting of all kinds of contractors. We've invited contractors, subcontractors, builders, and others that have small businesses who can take advantage of this opportunity with the Nashville Airport. The Nashville Airport is spending money to expand their airport, and they're gonna spend about $1.2 billion. So we've invited people to this breakfast who are contractors, who will hopefully get some of that money. And because we're airports, we have special federal goals that are mandated so that the minorities, the women-owned businesses, veteran disabled businesses will get a part of that money. So if we've got $1 billion that's gonna be spent, and if the goal is about 10%, that means about $100 million is going to minority, women-owned businesses. Isn't that exciting? Would you like to have at least $1 million of that? Well, literally, some of the people that come to that meeting will earn that kind of money. There's a big difference between earning $1 million or whatever amount you can earn and making a profit. That's two different worlds. So you have to be careful when you go into business that you understand business, you have to understand accounting, you have to understand the regulations as far as taxes are concerned, other obligations. When you have payroll, there are obligations you have in the payroll. When you're paying people, you have to take certain things out and send to the government, otherwise you can get in trouble. So what I'm saying is you have to understand all that from an accounting point of view, so that after all is said and done, after all the dust settles, that you've done all the work and done satisfactory, excellent work, then the money that's left over belongs to you as the owner of that company. That's called a profit. So that profit you can take home with you. Now, it'd be great if you made enough money to have $1 million profit on the job,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because that means that's yours. You can do with that as you like. But there are businesses who don't do their homework, don't learn the ropes of business, don't learn about accounting, don't learn about all the basic things that they're supposed to do, and they get themselves in trouble, don't know how to estimate a job. Anybody know what estimating a job means? If I hire you to cut my grass, and I have an acre of land to cut, that's big, right? And I say, you're gonna have to pay for the gas, you're gonna have to bring your own lawnmower. So what do you need to think about before you come to my house to cut my grass? How much it's gonna cost me for the gas? If I don't have a lawnmower and I have to buy a lawnmower, how much it's gonna cost me to purchase a lawnmower? How much is he gonna pay me for doing the work? Because if what I'm paying you is not at least equal to your expenses for coming out to do the work, you're not gonna make any money. You can put it on your resume, I did a job. And that's good if you're just starting, but what does that mean? Doesn't mean a thing if you're not taking money home with you, right? So you have to learn. I urge you when you get your education, even at what level are you all?
We have
Elementary, junior high?
elementary, high school. Are you in
Okay.
junior high? Freshman.
Okay, so you got a right. So when you're doing your studies, when you even if you hate math, think about it. Hey, I've got to be able to manage my money in the future. So fall in love with math from that perspective, because it will do you a world of good if you know how to think through how to do estimating and how to make a profit, essentially, how to run your business. You got to understand those mathematical principles. You can always hire an accountant if you have enough money in your business, but you have to pay that accountant. And you have to hope that that accountant is a good person, has a good reputation, because there are accountants. There's a story of a famous basketball player, one of my favorites from way back, And his accountant took almost every penny he had, which is ridiculous. So sometimes you can hire people that are just, so this badge means that when I was hired, I had to go through a background check. Now, when you all get of age and start working, you probably have to do the same thing. What does that mean? Going through a background check means I've got to pass a drug screen. So if I've done drugs, I automatically get kicked out. I can't get this badge. This badge allows me to go to the airport, and I can go in places nobody else can go in, because I swipe my badge and it authorizes me to get in. If I had done drugs before I went for my drug screen, I would have automatically been eliminated from being able to go to work there. But because my ethics are good, I've got good morals, and I don't do what I've got no business, I was able to get through this. Also, you have to have a physical, so you take care of yourself, take care of your body, stay in good health, right? Because you'll have to pass a physical when you go to work. Also, you have to have the basic educational qualifications. So do well in your studies so that when it comes your time to get that job, that dream job you want, that you'll be eligible for it and ready for it. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do foolish things, which will throw you out. No matter how smart you are, no matter how gifted you are, if you can't pass the basics, you can't get in. Then this other badge is for the city has a diversity business advisory committee. So because I do the kind of work I do at the airport, they invited me to this association to help with African American businesses, women-owned businesses, to try to get work at the airport. And just recently, I've learned from some of the businesses that they've gotten these big contracts recently. So, got to do your homework. If you're going into business for yourself, know your trade, know your stuff. Nobody ought to know it better than you. And then it's not only good enough to have a good, solid business, then you've got to market your business. Who knows what I mean by when I say market your business?
Tell everybody, put it on Facebook, basically Instagram.
You got it. Use social media. Social media is a great tool to advertise what you do now. One big mistake is if you start advertising your business before you're ready to do good business, then you're hanging yourself, because your reputation will get around pretty quickly, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
If you do great work, your reputation will get around. Hey, so-and-so does great work. You ought to use them.
Gotta back up what you say.
You got to back up what you say. But one time doing somebody wrong, what will happen with that? Will people keep it under wraps and not say anything? No, they're going to tell everybody. People love to gossip. People have nothing to do with it, love to gossip and tell bad things on people. So as a business person, you've got to be upright, have high standards, high ethics, do a great job, market yourself when you're ready, when you've got all your things together and know how to do estimates and so forth, then you go for it. And social media is a great tool to market these days. Okay, do you all have any questions about the information I handed out? I've given you two things. One is a brochure on the program I've been talking about, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. So as you develop with Ms. Shanitra Matthews, as you figure out what you want to do in life, these principles will help you no matter what you do. But if you decide to go into business for yourself, hold on to that brochure. And when you become of age and you start your business, if it's something that relates to what the airport can do, I'd love to talk with you, because we try to promote business. Ms. Matthews is a photographer. I think I found out about her business online. I think it was LinkedIn or something like that. So social media, she put herself on social media. And now, this Thursday, for this big $1 billion project, she's gonna shoot the photos for me for that. So, using that social media is a great tool. The other piece of information I left for you are top paying jobs in the aviation field. And it shows a little description of what the jobs are and also the salary for those jobs. For instance, let me peek on your sheet. And, Director of Aerospace Program Management, median annual salary, that means the average annual salary is about $151,000. How would you like to make $150,000, Steve? Wouldn't that be pretty nice? That's pretty good money. And there are other positions as well. You know, when you first start off in the workplace, you're not gonna go straight to the top. Most people will not. But you'll start maybe an entry-level job, which is fine. You get your feet wet, you learn the basics, and then if you have your education behind you, your college education behind you, then you can rise through the ranks through the years, and maybe one day, if you want to be a CEO, you can get that position. Just keep in mind, to whom much is given, much is required. So if you have a high-level job, while you get paid well, you also have a lot of responsibility, a lot of legal responsibility. So you have to be careful about that. And the thing that I advise you to do is find your passion, find what you love, not what mama loves, not what daddy loves, not what brother and sister love, but what you like. What is your passion? And then you follow that passion with all your heart and do the best you can. Anybody have any questions? Okay, well, it's been a delight to come and share with you, and I'm glad to be a sponsor through the airport for some of you, and that's one of the things we like to do through our program. We have to do what we call outreach, and outreach, in my opinion, has to do with more than just reaching out to existing businesses to connect them to the airport, which we do a lot of that, but also helping young people like yourselves who may one day be business people to sort of learn the basics, learn about the programs, learn what's out there, so that by the time you come of age, you guys might be experts when you hit the ground running, right? And you're the ones that are going to make the big money because of your knowledge base. You already have a head start. You already know some of the basics of what you have to look for and what you have to fulfill. In education, knowledge, skills, and abilities, all the things you need to be successful. So, I wish you great success, and thank you for having me this morning. And find your passion, and then do all you can. Give it your best shot. And with God's help, and by God's grace, you will be successful.
Thank you.